Welcome everyone who's here, and I want to thank you for making the time and selecting mindfulness for your coffee break. And I hope that as a result of this short time we have together, I pique your interest and you do something following this, whether it's Googling, researching, asking questions, exploring, that you find the benefit for yourself. And what I want to do is really just start with a practice. So I'm going to invite you to join me, and invitations are always a choice on your part as to whether you participate. But this is just a short exercise, and it's a breathing exercise. And really, it's an experiential. So it's about how you feel, not how I feel. I'm going to invite you to, whether you're standing or seated, to have your feet flat on the floor, posture strong, always thinking about posture, shoulders back, rolled back, resting down the lower back. And what we're going to do is just breathe naturally in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. And when I start the practice, I'm going to ask you to inhale through your nostrils to a count of 4. We're going to pause for 2, and then you're going to exhale slowly through your mouth as if you're blowing through a straw. And I'll give the instructions as we go through this. So when you're ready, exhale the air out of your lungs, letting it all go, and begin inhaling through your nostrils. Pause. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nostrils. Pause. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale nostrils. Pause. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale nostrils. Pause. Exhale through your mouth. And now return to your normal breathing pattern. Noticing there's no work to do. There's no thinking about it. Body knows exactly what to do. It breathes for you. You don't even need to think about it. It just happens. And when you're ready, look up at me. Thank you for participating and trying that out. What we just did was engage the vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in the system. It goes from the back of the skull to your tailbone, encompasses your organs. And basically, when you do deep breathing like that, you are engaging that nervous system, and it calms your body. It changes the physiological aspect of everything from your mental state to your physical state. And it is referred to as the rest and digest. Mindfulness is part of that practice. So meditation has lots of different type styles, just like there are sports that have basketball, soccer, etc. There's lots of various types of meditations. The one I teach and the one I practice with Mindful Being in Houston is mindfulness. I was certified at UCLA at Mindful Awareness Research Center, and the training and the science associated with it. So although meditation has been around for over 2,500 years, we're just now really in the last 30, 40 years learning the benefits of meditation. Everything from reducing stress and anxiety, increasing gray matter of the brain. So as I'm aging, that's a high priority for me to maintain gray matter. It's been known to lower blood pressure. It also helps with those that are suffering with chronic pain. And there's lots of practices in terms of mindfulness that help with those activities. I do want to share a little bit about research and science that we've learned. Some believe that we can generate over 70,000 thoughts a day. Just say that number again to yourself, 70,000. And we wonder why we're exhausted. We wonder why sometimes when we get into bed at night, we can't sleep and our mind is just racing. We are an incredible species of doing. We're great at doing things, planning things, making things happen. We're not great at relaxing and sitting and being present. And so one of the things we know about the mind is that it goes a number of places. When it leaves this present moment, when it's no longer paying attention to the here and now, it tends to go a number of places. It tends to go to the past. What didn't I do? What regrets I have? What do I wish I could have, should have done? Goes to the future. What am I going to do after this coffee break? What's the next session? Should I have read something? What am I going to do after this whole conference, when I get off this Zoom call, etc.? All the things of the future. The other thing we do is we judge. Many times we judge ourselves more than anybody, or we look at something and we think, I wouldn't have done it that way. And you start thinking about how you would have done it when it's already been done. It's not even your business. Or we compare. We look at things and we get activated by, I wouldn't, do I like it? Do I not like it? Is it pleasant, unpleasant? And we spend so much time in our heads, much of which is lost. We don't even know what's going on. If you're like me, you've read a page in a book and completely missed the point, don't even remember reading it. Or whether we're driving much anymore these days, but if you've driven in the past, you've gotten from point A to point B without even knowing how you did that. In other words, lost in your head. Thoughts are just going and you're on autopilot, as we call it. So mindfulness and the tools of mindfulness are getting out of autopilot, getting out of the head into the present moment, fully aware, with openness, curiosity, and a sense of kindness without judgment. And that's what mindfulness is. There was a study done in 2010 by Harvard University, and it gave everyone, about 2,500 people across the world, an app that asked 2 questions. Are you paying attention to what you're doing? And how happy are you? The outcome of that research reflected that, 1, people's minds were drifting at up to almost 50% of the time. In other words, they weren't paying attention to what they were doing, whether it was doing an email, writing a paper, designing a building. They had gotten lost in some thought and weren't even paying attention to what they were doing. The other outcome of that study was that people who were not present in what they were doing were less happy. In other words, regardless of what you're doing, if you can find a moment to be present, you could possibly be happier. And that's because understanding where the mind goes when it's not in the moment goes to the past. Mostly regrets. Sometimes it's memories that are warm and fuzzy, but notice where your thoughts go, or to the future and it's worrying. So I want to invite you now to join me in some brief practices, which, unlike some meditations, this is not about visualization. This is about being present and fully aware of what's happening. And there are 3 things that are always present in tools that you have for your own practice. And this isn't therapy, it's not self-help, it's simply self-awareness. It's being fully aware of what's happening. In the practice, your mind's going to drift. It's going to go off. Somewhere along the line, your mind will start thinking about, when is she going to stop? Or you may even think, oh, her voice is driving me nuts. Whatever it is, The practice is simply to notice that thought, notice how the interruption happened, and come back to what I'm going to call an anchor. And we're going to have 3 choices of anchors. So I want to invite you now to find a seat, someplace where you're comfortable. It could be in a straight back chair, or on a cushion or bench. If you want to sit on the couch, and if you want to lay down. I mean, if you're just tired, lay down. And if you're tired of sitting, stand up. What I ask is that your body is supported and the feet are flat on the floor. And your back is straight. Posture is always a good thing to think about. Letting your shoulders rest. And if you're comfortable, gazing downward or closing your eyes. And that's completely an option for you, whichever works best. So, and just allow your body to breathe. There's nothing you have to do in this moment. This is about being present. It's about letting the body rest, doing what it already knows to do, which is breathing. And then you're exercising this muscle of the mind to stay focused and alert, starting just with the breath. Each breath as it enters the nostrils, maybe you feel it filling the chest or the belly, and maybe you feel it as it exhales, again, from the belly, the chest, and the nostrils. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if the mind drifts, as it will, and there's no judgment. It happens. It's a habit. Thoughts come and thoughts can go. You may notice the thought, maybe label it, thinking, worrying, dreams, hopes. Just notice and maybe shelf it. You can return. This is the time to train that muscle of the mind to be in the moment, present, knowing that it runs off on its own again and again. The mind will not empty, but you can train that muscle to be in the moment, following the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And there's nothing to do. Just focus the mind as the body is resting. If the breath doesn't hold your attention and the mind is busy, as it can be, you can try a counting system, counting each inhale and exhale as 1, the next as 2, and continuing until you hit 10, and then starting again. Noticing when the mind drifts is the practice. There's no judgment, no critique. There's no good practice or bad practice. There's just practice, moment to moment. It's possible that sounds may draw your attention. Also present, serve as an anchor, holding the mind's attention. There's no seeking, no searching or grasping. Sounds can be internal, organs, intestines, pulse, heartbeat. Noticing sounds internally and externally. Man-made, cars, nature, birds, leaves blowing. Fully awake and the sense of hearing and the sounds around you. Also present, holding you steady in the moment, calming, possibly quieting the mind, just noticing what is happening. When the mind drifts as it does, just simply notice, maybe label it, shelf it for later, and escort the attention of the mind back to the anchor, maybe the breath, possibly sounds, or body sensations. Bringing your attention to your feet, all the way down to the toes, the arches, the heel, noticing whatever may be present or not. Also the hands, sensations of the body are always in the moment. A chance to come back again and again. A tool you have, the body serving you as it's resting, and you're exercising this muscle of the mind. And now choosing the anchor that is most comfortable for you, or brings ease in keeping the mind's attention focused. The practice of mindfulness can help with attention, focus, can reduce stress, activation, brings clarity for decision making, chance to be skillful in a response versus reactionary. Breathing in through the nostrils, filling the chest and the belly, maybe feeling the ebb and flow of the rise and fall. Resting the body while the mind is completely alert, knowing it will drift, and the practice is to bring it back to the present moment, just as it is, with openness, curiosity, and kindness. There's no judgment, there's no good or bad practice. There just is a moment of being here and now. I'm going to read a poem, Being Present, by Donna Fodds. Breathe, relax, and feel. Take time to slow down the pace of life. Watch the rise and fall of moods, the birth and death of dreams. Feelings and sensations seem so real, yet they shift like changing clouds and flow with the high tide out to sea again. Allow it all to be. No need to grasp or push away. Present with each moment, the whole of you, body, mind, and soul, opens to receive. When you're ready, look up and join me. I want to thank you. Any feedback on the practice? I hope you have some curiosity. You just got a snippet of what meditation and mindfulness can do. One of the reasons we practice a formal sit, which is just what we were doing, which is breathing and paying attention to the thoughts in our head, is so that when we go about our day and we get an email or somebody cuts us off in traffic, instead of getting activated and our body shutting down and, getting white knuckled and nervous and yelling and raising our blood pressure and aggravated, it's a chance to notice that, you know what? I don't know why they cut me off. I don't know why this train is stopping in the middle of rush hour, but it is. And, I can take this time to just rest and exercise the muscle of my mind, and get out of my head. So it is a practice. There's lots of free apps that I encourage you to explore. Mindful Being also offers free meditation on Facebook Monday through Friday at noon Central Time. And it's a snippet. It's changed how I live my life. Stressors and things still happen, but my relationship with those stressors and the activities is way different. And so it's just a way of being. And the more we practice, the better we become at this. So it helps with decision making. It helps with dealing with chronic pain. It helps with the stressors. And it's just something that you individually can do. It's not therapy. It's not self-help. It's really about self-awareness. And there's lots of resources to explore. Over 25 million people are practicing meditation. It's used in the military. Our athletes are known. I mean, it's clearly important to stay in the game and be present and stop worrying about the bad shot or missing the kick or the basket or whatever. So it's also used in education and corporate. It's very helpful with the type of speech we have, thinking carefully about, do I really need to say this? It's been known to help with memory, attention, impulse control. And if any of you are having trouble sleeping at night, there are wonderful apps that are called body scans and can help you, instead of having your mind just racing through all the things you need to do or didn't get done, which we spend a lot of time when you start to notice the thoughts. Just, you might do a graph today and notice whether you're going to the past, future, whether you're judging or comparing. Just notice how much time you waste. There is a time when our minds are absolute gifts. They give us all the things we can think about, strategize, design, plan, socialize, be kind, and yet there's a lot of time we waste and our minds just kind of take over. It's kind of a habit of, if you remember your biology class and research of the brain, the amygdala, which is the fight, flight, or freeze, and how easily it gets activated. And the breathing exercise that we did at the beginning was a calming method. So thank you for joining me on this. I look forward to any questions or thoughts you may have about the practice. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate you being here for all of our coffee breaks.
My pleasure.
All right, take care.
Bye.